Wow, hear it. And this is a fellow AI enthusiast, and we really talked about some ways of how you can use this in your business. He does commercial and residential, and he was talking about how he incorporated in. We were talking about those little baby videos that are popping up all over on how we're utilizing that and the results we're getting with it. Some great nuggets in here. I hope you'll stay tuned. See ya.
Welcome to Real Estate Riches, where Kathy Burns empowers realtors to achieve the success they've always dreamed of. Starting her career at 55, Kathy built a thriving business that offers the freedom of time and financial independence. And now she's sharing her journey to help others do the same. Whether new to the industry or looking to level up, this channel is your hub for proven strategies, inspiring stories, and the tools you need to grow your real estate business. Join Kathy each week to explore global opportunities, successful systems, and expert insights to take your career to the next level. Get comfortable, pick a video, and start learning. Your journey to success starts now.
Hey everybody, it's Kathy Burns here today on Real Estate Riches, and I have a wonderful guest from Wisconsin. And he is Alejandro Trejo. Probably says it better than me. I'm always struggling with that. But we're going to have a great event today where you're really going to learn some wonderful stuff. And let's get started. Hi, Alejandro. How are you today?
Kathy, I am excellent. Thank you for this opportunity.
Mm, love to have you on. And we're looking for some nuggets from you today. You want to give us a little background about you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been in the industry for a while now, and when I first got started, it was one of those situations where the idea sounded amazing and visions in my head sounded amazing. But when I first got into real estate about 6 years ago, and when I got into it, I had no idea what I got myself into, okay? It was one of those situations where the idea of doing real estate sounded amazing. I got in, very different from 9 to 5, and you're running your own business. But when I first got in, luckily I had some amazing people to like surrounded by and help me out and put me in the right direction. And within about 30 days, I got my first deal and it just kept snowballing from there. And
Wow.
I learned a lot right off the first year in real estate. Felt like I was already in it for 5 years. So
Yeah. Yeah, it is a lot. People just think that this is such an easy job. It is so far from that, isn't it?
you're spot on with that one, 100%.
Yeah. Driving fancy cars and stuff like it's such an easy deal. You make all this money. Shoot, we pay out so much friggin' money. If
Oh,
we're
yeah.
lucky to get a nice car, but it's a lot. And I was telling you earlier before we got on recording here that when I got in 2006, there was no collaboration. And honest to God, that didn't happen for me till about 8 years ago. And you just really had to scratch and crawl to figure it out yourself or hire a coach. And then coaches weren't as prevalent as they are now. So there's
Mhm.
lots of coaches now. Now you're worried, are you hiring the right coach? How many coaches can you hire? Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, exactly. Well, plus, if you look at it like this, nowadays you actually have YouTube, podcasts, education, which is exactly what we're doing right now, which is a great opportunity. And I wish that this would have been around years ago because there's a lot of people that got out of the industry simply because they just couldn't figure it out and they had no help. And honestly, they could have probably killed it, but who would have ever known? So there are people that gotten back in the industry that I've met now that said they were in the industry years ago
Yeah,
and couldn't make it, and now they're back, and life is great. So
yeah,
it's just weird how things come to a full circle.
yeah. And we were talking another subject that I thought was really insightful. And it's about having tools and no tools. And like I'm with EXP, gazillion tools. Does everybody dive in and take advantage? No. I'm frustrated beyond belief that they don't. Because me, I dive into stuff. You give me opportunity, I'm there. But not everybody is the same. And you were saying that you had tools and opportunity, and you did the same. You dove in, right?
100%. If it's there, it's gonna help me, my business, help my clientele, and just overall make everything better. I have to figure it out. I have to learn it. I want it. I
Yeah.
am I am a vacuum when it comes to education and learning. And I never grew up that way, if we're going to be very transparent. In
Me
school,
too.
I failed every test. I didn't care. I just felt like I didn't belong there. There's always
Yeah.
something bigger and better to do in life. And
Yes.
then now it's opposite. It's all about learning, learning, learning. And that's all I spend most of my time doing, other than living my life a little bit here and there. But education, huge.
Huge, huge. I got sued 100 years ago, and when I did, it really devastated me, but I got on a path of personal development. And one of the words that I heard back then was Kaizen, which stands for little improvements every day. And I live my life like that. I'm always searching, like, what can I do better today? Shoot, I was on an hour training today that was friggin' amazing. Brendan Brittenham was teaching about the skill of public speaking. And he goes, don't think of just standing on a stage. He goes, you're publicly speaking to your clients. You're publicly speaking in to these other agents. You need to know how to be a good communicator. And that is gold right there, right?
Communication,
Yeah,
always one of the top players as far as traits go, skill sets.
yeah.
Uh, I don't care how well you think you talk now, there's always room to improve, right? I mean, it's things change, the world changes, but psychologically, trust is also built out of the tone and what you know and how you deliver it versus
Hmm.
somebody who's looking for something specific. You're going to be able to pinpoint that out of that person, and it might rub you the wrong way. And if that's not
Hmm.
your intention, you better make sure that you deliver your communication very accurately.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a big believer in the DISC profile. Do you know what I'm talking about? That's
100%.
personality.
I
Oh, good.
I love that. Yes.
Yes. And I teach my agents all about that DISC profile. I said, first of all, you got to learn who you are. And then you need to learn the different styles that are out there and how you can communicate so that they're being heard versus you just telling. Like I'm a high ID. I'm an ID. So that means
Mhm.
I like to have fun. I also like to get things done just like that. And I've got no patience for details. None. I'm as disorganized as I can be. And so for the person who needs that engineer mindset style, who needs all the details, I got to pick that up quickly because that's not my normal communication. So for me to do my job with him or her, I've got to become that person. I have to give them what they need, not what I need, which is so important.
I would agree with you. And it's funny, Kathy, that you're an ID because I'm an ID. I just retested out. It's been a while. It's been a few
Uh-huh.
years, but I just retested and it flipped. So it's a high D, low I.
Mm,
So I want to say that it still mixes back and forth. The reason
I
is
agree.
because I've learned in this industry that sometimes you cannot take BS from anybody. It just we go through enough the way it is. The stuff that we do for our clients and that we're willing to do for our clients when you're a high achiever and
Hmm.
they don't see it. You can talk about it. They can never possibly care about the way you truly feel about everything you just had to go through. And it just taught me that I have to put my D in front sometimes to really get stuff done because face it, challenges, you can take it lightly or you can actually accomplish them. And I want to
Right.
accomplish them. So,
And I will say that when I was first tested back in the 90s, I was only an eye, nothing else was even visible. And
yeah,
then when you do evolve, in business, my deal rise like crazy. I see never. I always need a C person in my life because that's just not my style. And my
yeah.
S is there and it comes up and down. But the C, I swear, that's a flatliner. But I get things done. I just hire people who help me with the C tasks, the
Yeah.
details. Yeah. So, well, tell me now about AI. What's your thoughts on that?
I think I don't want to say it's a godsend, but it is a blessing if you know how to use it. And let's face it, I want to just say this for the record. There's so many people that look at AI as a problem or an issue, but look at the internet. And when that first started arriving, people had all kinds of thoughts and all this and that. But look what it did. Look where you're at now. You use it every single day. Now, if you look at AI in a very similar way, it's replacing a lot of stuff for the better. if you want to massively produce a certain amount of messages, you can have it tailor specific messages to disc profiles specifically. You can ask it
Mhm.
to write you a very emotionally intelligent letter to fit a D, an I, an S, and a C individually. And you can edit them, you can read through them. You basically control the AI. You tell the AI who it is. For example, I would just ask AI who are the top three most intelligent psychologists in the entire world who know human behavior, human patterns, reactions, the works. Then I tell AI, you are now going to take their identity and you are going to operate by helping me achieve and then something specific. I will ask it a series of questions just to make sure it's on the right path. I will have it double check its own work. Sometimes it'll come back and say, hey, you're right. I made a mistake. This is
Yep.
not how it's supposed to be. So it's not like the most amazing thing yet, but it can do some pretty amazing things. But as a human, you still got to error check for all of that.
Yeah, and I'm a fan. I teach it. I teach it for beginners, for real estate agents who are not embracing it and just thinking that this is kind of like a fad. It's so far from a fad. It is our reality, and it's going at such a speed pace that if you don't dive in, man, you're gonna be out of business because I don't know how you catch up, honestly.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
yeah,
There's
I've been doing it for 2.5 years, and I'm learning every day in it. And even when I do my classes, which are basically the same class every month at the last Friday of the month at 11, I do this Zoom for agents who want to get that base, just to learn how to do the customized GPT that knows their style, to learn some of the system of ChatGPT. And then I teach them how to do it in perspective. But the point is, I'm changing my guide, that's their study book, every single month. And so I set up a task in ChatGPT. I said, give me any update that you have in the system at 6 a.m. every morning, and then tell me how to do what you just updated. And so it does. And then it was coming every day and it was giving me repeats of stuff. I said, listen, you rascal. I don't want to know if nothing's happened, you just repeating the same story. Just say nothing new and I'll move on because all I care about is the new stuff. And so it adjusted. And that's in my task. And I decided today, as a matter of fact, when I was teaching the class, I would create a new task. And this one is, here are 3 other AI products that I work with. I'd like to know their updates as well and do the same process, but you can do that at 6:30.
so,
I love it.
so that's yeah. So the taking it and having it do tasks for you and stuff, that's a little different. I haven't done that yet myself, but I like that and making sure that it's staying on top of certain things as well.
Mhm.
So it's pretty clever. I think that AI, I mean, it's not going to go away, right? It's just going to keep
No.
advancing. It's going to take over a lot of stuff, but again, I think it's for the better. There's a lot of headlines that are always talking about AI taking over your jobs, this and that. Sure. Are there certain jobs that are going to fade away? Absolutely. But it's never going to take over your real estate job, but it's just going to help agents like myself take over your job personally because I'm using it and I'm growing with it and I'm training it, teaching it. We're growing together. And using that is going to take your business. If you're using it now, you already know it's increasing your business. Maybe not
Mm.
necessarily in sales directly, but as far as getting things done, helping organize, creating a new business model or a list of things, whatever, it's got your back.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love it for research. And I think I saw something that you do. I like it for deep research. I use Grok for deep research, but I can also
Okay.
use ChatGPT. But I go over to Grok because well, it's free. And I wanted to have it do deep research on an area that I was going to be marketing, getting a new listing that I was not familiar with. And normally I don't do that, but I was able to do that here. So I put in the address, I gave it all the information of what I wanted it to look for. I said, I don't know this area, but it's very popular. Here's the address. Here's the country club that's nearby. The price ranges go from 500 to 5 million. Nothing makes sense to me as an outsider looking in. I've got this particular home. I need to know what prices are going per square foot, all the variables that would be, why is it such a hot topic, blah, blah, blah. And so it gives me this incredible report that I now go upload into ChatGPT. And now I go into the MLS and I do my comps that I based on what's relatable to this particular home in that area, that little subdivision area. And there were probably about 13 homes, and then I kept narrowing it down. And then I printed those out as a PDF. I uploaded those into ChatGPT. So now it's got two resources to go from. And then I told it who it was, just like you did. I said,
Mhm.
you're an expert appraiser in the Charlotte area and you specialize in this neighborhood. I want you to break it down on all the different variables, like if there's a pool, not a pool, if there's a one-car garage or no car garage or two-car garage. I want the bedrooms, the bathrooms, all that, factor in all the price variables. And now I want you to give me a range based on me trying to get multiple offers because it's a hot area, and I want the range and then the suggested price on the multiple offers. Here's all the updates that were done to the house. Here's the previous MLS when they bought it 4 years ago, where they paid 75,000 over list on it, and they put another 130,000 into the house since then. So now tell me, how does, oh, and I did pictures of all those MLS sheets. It not only gave those house, but it was all the pictures, all the tax information, all the concessions that each house did. And I said, now you got all the data. Now tell me, what's my range? What's my explanation? Validate it to me. And then it said, would you like me to give you an Excel spreadsheet and break it all out? I said, I sure would. It did. So now I had all my ammunition for this price that we put it on, which we did. I got it under contract in 22 days. I really was expecting sooner, but there were multiple homes that came on the same week. And then now we're under contract, and now I need to give the appraiser information. I have a whole packet to give the appraiser. I just made his job for him, basically.
Yeah. So making somebody's job, who can complain with that, right? So yeah, no, it's very, very similar to stuff that I would do as well. I do it because I do both residential and commercial property.
Mm,
And when it comes to like commercial property, sometimes it's hard to find comparatives. So I have to
yeah,
really dig deeper and figure out how can I come up with a very realistic price that's going to get this place to sell at top dollar. And
right.
commercial is a very different animal when it comes to residential. They don't fly off the shelves unless it's a very hot location.
Mhm.
But doing just that using AI, you can upload it, PDFs, the taxes, everything, every
Yes.
piece of information possible. I would even ask it questions like, if you are a real top appraiser, tell me what your top three attributes are in appraisal. What makes you a top appraiser
Mm,
compared to the next person? I want to challenge it. I want to find out a little bit more
mm,
about what I don't know because I know how to read between the lines. And I can take certain information it'll feed me and feed it back and make it grow even better and say, okay, I
mm,
like this, but I don't like this. I don't agree. Can you back this up? Where's the evidence? Where's the resources that make this true? Right? I want facts.
right.
So I do very similar stuff as you, Kathy, and it's just we all have a little different way on how we coordinate because let's face it, AI is still growing and so are we.
Yes, but you and I are the rare birds that are using it to this level. And if someone's coming in competition for that listing, and we've done all of this and could present this kind of package, and they just did a regular old listing where they're going to talk about how they're going to put it in the MLS and blah, 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 and how they come up with their price, we're going to blow them away because of the validation of what we've got. And that's what I'm trying to teach realtors. You've got to do this AI stuff and you've got to start thinking bigger. Any question you've got. And the other thing is you can just ask it. Ask me questions, what I'm not even thinking to ask you, then regroup that after I give you the questions to the perfect prompt so you give me exactly what I need. So simple.
Exactly. I even went as far as what is the a reel on Facebook? Okay. I was just thinking it would cost me a lot of money to hire somebody to put is something as simple as gold numbers of the price of the house and dropping out of the sky and crashing into the lawn. So what I did is I took a listing picture of the front of my listing that I have, and I told Sora, first I went to ChatGPT and said, create me a prompt for Sora to have it do exactly this. And I need to make sure that it's detailed enough so it follows directions. Now, Sora is still growing, but if you went to sora.gpt.com, you'll see thousands and thousands of people's created videos, and you can read the description of how they created it. Like, what did they say? So I had it create me a 5-second video of the price dropping out, and I uploaded it as a reel and as a ad saying, "Hey, just listed, check it
Love
out."
this.
And now with that ad, I get leads directly to my command. So I get notifications all the time, like, hey, you got another lead. So what do? You pick up
Wow.
the phone in 15 minutes or less, give them a call and just say, hey, I just got some information that you were interested in a property I have through an ad. Have a
Wow.
conversation. So
Love that. Man, I'm going to use that. Have you seen those little baby ones, the talking babies?
yes, yes, those were the funniest. When I first seen it, I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like Joe Rogan versus somebody else. Like, yeah, those are crazy.
I did one, somebody did one of me with them. We were in a podcast, so he took that picture and he created one and he did a little mini one and it was me and him. I said, "Wait, how did you do that?" It was really simple. And so I said, "Well, I went into ChatGPT and I said, I want to do this. Help me create the prompts, blah, blah, blah." And it did. And then I went over, I forget the name of it, Hedda or anyway, I went over to it because I want to advertise my seminar that I do or my webinar. And it was only 18 seconds because that's the free one. You get 18 seconds. So it built a voiceover script for me. So I did the voiceover within that system. And it's this little talking baby just going crazy. And I thought it was kind of corny. And I thought, should I put this out there? Is this, it's not necessarily
Yeah,
my brand, but you know what? It had 500 views in one day. So I said, oh, heck yes, I'm using that because it's clearly catching attention.
exactly. Be different. Should always
Yes.
be different. And marketing is what's the old saying? It's like throwing a noodle at the wall until one sticks. That's all marketing really is. It's us being scientists, delivering something different. And if it
Mhm.
works, keep doing it until it doesn't work anymore. If you're doing something long enough and it's not working, quit doing it.
Yeah, it's
So,
waste of time.
hypothetically, an idea I just got off of your idea that you just did was if I did a video walkthrough of a home, I could have AI turn me into a kid presenting the home. And I could have the home owners be a part of the video and give them the idea and say, hey, we're going to do a quick interview. What do you love about the home? And whatever. And it's just being different. I mean, I've seen people
Yeah,
doing videos of popping out of a closet or playing in the sandbox and just getting approached by the video like off guard, like, oh, hey, sorry, I couldn't help myself. This is sandbox, this house. It's just being different and being yourself,
yeah,
being authentic, right?
yeah, yeah. I love that. Love that. Well, this is great. You got any other last minute tips for us?
Well, as far as nuggets go, if you're struggling in your business, finding business, I just want to say this. You're not going to want to listen to any of the gimmicks and all these sales pitches that people are giving you about trying this and doing this and signing up for this. Trust your gut. Always trust your gut. It's just too good to be true. I tell you what it really takes. And you're not always going to like it, but go old school. You got to build an in-person connection with people. If you're standing in the line at a store waiting for to cash out, turn around, just say hi. If you have
Mhm.
time to create that conversation, ask a simple question, about like what brings you here today, and just see if that goes somewhere. It's go door knocking. You don't have to like it. You don't know what to say. Here's a simple script in real estate. And I was just going through the neighborhood and asking if you know anybody in the area that's still looking to buy a home or sell one. Now, you're not being direct with them because people don't like to be sold, right? So you don't ask them personally. And I found a lot of times they will point out at a house up the block here and say, well, these guys over here were thinking about selling and you could try them.
Mm,
and it works. You get leads. Just
mm.
talk to people as much as possible. Don't
I
follow the gimmicks.
I 100% agree with that. Well, thank you so much. This has been wonderful. I appreciate having you on. I love a fellow AI enthusiast like myself, and I'm excited that you were able to share your nuggets with us and all of us here. And I just appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, Kathy, I appreciate you reaching out. This is a great opportunity.
All right, everybody, you heard it. Some great nuggets on here. And if you're not doing AI, man, I really encourage you. Check out my webinar on Friday, last Friday of the month. And it's always on my social media, which is tagged here in the bottom, so you'll be able to check it out. But I appreciate you being here and watching it, and stay tuned for the next one. Okay, that's that. So now I'm going to scoot you out and I will do my promo in the beginning, and that's it. And it's probably a good 4 weeks out. We were trying to
Okay.
schedule, I'm gone for the whole month of June. And so we were trying to get a bunch done. And I think we're into July now. So it may not even be coming out till July, but they send you all the stuff and you can always, because I know they got quite a few in the can to release.
Sure. That's understandable.
Yep.
So
But it's
you were
great.
saying once I get it, I share it on like social media, like Facebook or something. I just tag you in it. Okay.
Hmm.
Perfect.
Yeah. And if you're not, you should be already connected with me with LinkedIn, Facebook, because I went to your personal one. My preference is I don't bother with a business page. I think it's a complete waste of time. I do
Yeah.
business on my personal because Facebook moves that better.
Yeah.
And LinkedIn is my biggest fan. That's where my business is.
Okay. So yeah, I utilize a lot of it. So typically what I do is I post to my business and then from my business I share it over to my personal page. But like you're saying though, the algorithm, I don't get as much engagement
You're
even though
not
it's
gonna.
being shared to my personal. So yeah, I started just putting a lot more on my personal, my business. I just update it with certain stuff here and there.
They're
So
going to want to see who you are. And you
yeah.
want to make sure that you connect with everybody, every one of your clients on your personal page. Because eh, Facebook does not even send your posts out to, but barely 5% of who's ever been on there. And if they haven't even clicked on it, it doesn't even show up in their radar. You are completely wasting your time. Whereas if you're doing it on your personal, they got a better shot. But you also have to be doing something on theirs. You have to, it's an engagement process. And
Yeah. S
birthdays
That's
are
why I think,
perfect.
yeah, when you go through like your feed, and
Mhm.
I learned to try to always put a comment. So my biggest flag is to put like two flames on a lot of people's stuff. Like, hey, their kid just graduated.
Three
I
words.
click,
You need 3 words, not
need
flames.
three. Now I got to do
Three
three
words.
flames.
3 words. And but ideally, if it's someone you want to stay connected with, you send them a message. And if you do it through, you know how they give you announcement on your feed who's having a birthday? I have a whole
Yeah.
collection of birthday pictures on my phone, and I'll do that while I'm sitting somewhere, and I'll just send everybody a birthday picture on their feed so people see it.
Okay.
But once I'm on their feed where I've done something like that, now they see all my stuff for a while.
Okay.
So
I'll have to
yeah.
keep that in mind. So if we're doing 3 words, not emojis, I'll have to come up with 3 tag words that I become my brand just to post it.
That,
It's just something for being quick.
yeah, I know. Well, the birthdays for me are the fastest thing, and but I'm trying to do more in the messaging versus in the post because you'll get more engagement within that. And Facebook will give you credit for that too because
Like
you
in the
did an
comment
extra.
section.
No, in their direct message,
Oh,
like
sure.
say saw that new puppy. Wow, such a cutie, you know.
Hmm.
And what I also do, I use send out cards. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but you can capture that new puppy or whatever that they had on Facebook. You can put it on the front of it's a 5x7 card, glossy card. And now there's that new puppy. And on the inside left, you don't have to put anything or not. On the right, I say, "Hey, Bill, I saw you guys got a new puppy. I know you're going to have lots of pictures on your phone, but nobody ever captured one. And I thought this was cool. Enjoy." And then
Yeah.
on the back, there's no branding whatsoever, because you don't want to do branding when you're trying to be empathetic in some way.
Right.
And so they
Yeah.
already know who you are, but I always put my phone number underneath my name. That's my form of
Yep.
branding. And then it goes US mail. And so they get this in the mail, they love it, they open it, it's the puppy, now it's on the countertop, everybody's talking about it. Sometimes they'll take a picture of it and say, look what my realtor sent me today. I love this.
Yeah.
Because they don't capture their own pictures. So when you do stuff like that, you really stand out.
Oh, absolutely. I like the
Yeah,
idea. It's more personable.
very
Personal.
much so.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, well, I got to scoot. Thanks so much.
Okay.
I
Thank you,
appreciate your
Kathy.
time. See you
We'll
later.
talk soon.
So thanks for joining me on this episode of Real Estate Riches. Wasn't that great? I'm sure you got a nugget or two. I know I did. So if you liked it, please subscribe below, share it with everybody, make some comments. We really find that invaluable. And if you're thinking that you would love to talk about this a little bit more, let's schedule a business strategy call. I'll have the link below. And let's see if we can't mastermind together and see if we can empower each other. That would be great. So until next time, signing off. Hope to see you on the next one.